Good morning, Nick May with Walls by Design, and this is Coffee with Nick. I want to talk this morning directly to the real estate agents. So if you're not a real estate agent, this content is not necessarily for you. Now you may gain some wisdom here, but I'm going to speak directly to the real estate agent. And so one of the things that I've noticed as I have tried to connect with real estate agents across, and we work with a lot of real estate agents that refer us and tell their customers about us, and we are so thankful. But as I'm looking at the landscape, right, and I'm looking at either the realtors that are successful, or at least look successful on the internet. This morning I was on Instagram, and this team of ladies in town caught my attention, and they're doing a lot of great things. They're listing fantastic houses, and their branding is wonderful. The photos on their Instagram page was phenomenal, right? So high end real estate team. And I clicked on their website, and they had a like a vendor referral list. And I went down, of course, to the painters to see who they're referring. So, number one, I've never heard of any of them. And number two, by just the looks of it, they're like one-man shows. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But here's the thing. If you're a real estate agent and you are trying to bring the best service and the best quality, I would recommend that you are partnering with companies, and I'm just going to talk about painting companies that really reflect what you're trying to do. And so I came up with a list, or ChatGPT helped me come up with a list. And there are things that I agree. And if there's something on this list, I will tell you if I don't agree with it. Number one, reputation and credibility. So the number one way you can find out about a company's reputation and credibility is go to their Google reviews. How many Google reviews do they have? What did they say? What's how often do they get reviews? So if you are not familiar with a company, that is the number one way to go. And it's the number one place to go to really see. Now, obviously, you could go and talk to customers and talk, but a lot of realtors aren't going to do that. I just know they're probably not. A lot of our realtors, I think, have gotten in contact with us or found us because we worked for their customer, and their customer was like, "Oh my gosh, you need to know Walls by Design." Or we worked for them directly. They were looking for a painter. And so we have a lot of realtors that have used us. And so they then are comfortable. But reputation and credibility is huge. And Google is probably the biggest way, or the easiest way to get quick information. Now, the second thing I will say on that is, how long have they been in business? If this is a painting company, and I just talked about this on another video, if this company has been in business less than, I'm going to say 10 years, 10 years, if they have been in business less than 10 years, not painting 10 years or more, in business, if they've been in business less than 10 years, you do not want to work with them. Why? Why do I say that? They're still learning. They're just learning. They're still learning how to run their business, scheduling, hiring people, communicating with customers. They are not going to provide your customers with a fantastic experience. And will they stand behind it is another question. So number two, realtor specific benefits. Are your painting companies that you're working with giving you specific realtor benefits? We created a VIP Realtor Program a few years ago, and it's to give you some added benefits to help you stand out. Things like we will give you, if you're on our list, we will come out and do 2 hours of free touch-ups for any listing or any new sale. I just want the introduction to the homeowner. That's why we do that. We also give preferential scheduling. So I know you've experienced this. You get a bid from a painter, and you ask them, well, how far out are you? And they're like, oh, 2 weeks. And then you get all the bids, and then a week has passed by, and now you call them again, and they're like, oh, now we're 5 weeks out. Well, what we will do is, if you're on our VIP list, we will go out and give you an estimate, and we will hold the next slot available for a few days for you to give you and your client time to get our bid and get a few other bids. Now, we're not going to give you like 2 weeks. That's not what I'm saying. But I'll give you a couple days to get them all in. And if other painters are taking 4 and 5 days to get your estimate back to you, that's a problem. We will get you back an estimate within 24 hours. Most of the time, the same day. Yeah. And we have a few other. You can go to our website and click on the VIP Realtor Program. Quality of workmanship. Do they have a portfolio? What does their website look like? What does Facebook look like? What kind of content do they put up on there? Is this a company that you could say is consistent? Doesn't have to match exactly, but is it consistent with the kind of branding and messaging that you put out into the world? Because I think it's important. I honestly think it's important. And then what kind of warranty are they giving you? We give your customers a lifetime warranty. And part of the VIP program, if you have us come in and paint, let's say, cabinets for a homeowner that's looking to sell, normally our warranties end when the transfer to the new owner happens. But if you're a VIP, we will allow that warranty to transfer to the new owner. So pretty cool. Communication and professionalism. This is one thing I hear back from our customers all the time, that they appreciate the amount of communication that we give. And this goes to our contracts, how detailed they are, how quickly we get back to people if they aren't able to get us on the phone. But we are very responsive. If you are trying to get a bid and you can't get a hold of somebody, or they've come out and you're like, hey, where's that bid? And that's a sign. Like, how easy is it going to be to get them to come back for your client when something goes wrong, right? And that is key critical. Range of services. Are they a full interior, exterior cabinet painting company? I would say this: a lot of realtors, or a lot of people, homeowners, don't know the difference between cabinet painting and exterior painting. Yes, it's paint. It is completely different. We are the cabinet painting specialists. I got started painting exteriors when I was in college. Exteriors are pretty easy. But as you kind of move in, so cabinet painting is one of the highest levels, interior trims probably the next, and then painting walls, and then just scheduling big projects. Big projects are a little bit harder as well. From a management standpoint, pricing, transparency, and reliability. One of the things that I always do with our customers is I try to figure out, like, what's the goal? Like, why are you painting right now? What's the budget? What are you trying to accomplish? I walked a house the other day, and I may get some flack from real estate agents on this. They were going to go with a company that was going to paint the whole entire house. And I walked the house and it was in good condition. I mean, this was a $1.2 million house. They're light duty on their house. They didn't have a lot of kids running around. Their kids were older. Most of the trim looked in great shape. So my suggestion to her was, hey, instead of spending $4,000 or $5,000 painting all of your trim, why don't you just like mark off the doors and the areas of the trim that we can paint and do a touch up and make it look fantastic, and not have to paint all of the trim, because you are not trying to change the color of the trim. That is the one time I'm like, okay, that's when we have to paint all the trim. You are looking to repaint all of the trim and change the color. Also, I made suggestions on bedrooms that looked pretty good. We don't need to paint those. Let's paint the entryway. Let's paint some of these cabinets that make the house look outdated. I'm going to put the money in where it's going to give the biggest bang for the dollar. And so having somebody in your corner that can give you good advice. I've been doing this for 26 years. I own several houses. I've gone through the buying process. Our house here, I'm not bragging, but it's an $850,000 house. Now, that doesn't mean a ton in Denver, but it does give you a sense of what I understand about owning a house. If you're hiring somebody that lives, and I don't want this to sound horrible, but they live up on in downtown, and their house is more like a $500,000 house. Like, they don't know what a buyer goes through when they're looking at a house of this nature. I grew up as a country club kid. Again, I'm not trying to brag, but I understand what it takes and how you should act around an upper end clientele. I just do. I've just been around it. And so if aligning yourself with a paint contractor that is going to help you look the best and give the best service, then I don't know why you would work with anybody else in Denver other than Wallace by Design. I'm sorry, but we have the experience, we have the reviews, we've been there, done that, we've made the mistakes, and now we just want to bring great value to you and to your clients. So hopefully this helps you figure out who should be on your team and who you want to align yourself with. And if any of this makes sense and you want to have a conversation, please reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation. Cheers.